Hello YouTube and welcome back to the channel here today. Today we're here for 2 more episodes of Mushi-Shi. Very excited to be jumping back in with Ginkgo. I was going to say Ginkgo and friends, but not really, it kind of is just him. Yeah, we're back. 6 and 7 I believe here today. Straight into it, no dilly-dallying. YouTube comments up there ready to go. Just the one here today from Sal. Out of the 5 episodes so far, 5 is their personal favorite. Maybe it's because of Adashino. I'm imagining we're referencing here. Somebody else that seems to be clued into this kind of stuff, understands Mushi, how they may work, the mechanics there within, is somebody to bounce ideas off of, seems to match Ginkgo's energy quite well, good bit of rapport. Yeah, that could be one reason. I also thought the girl was cute too. I'm with you, for sure. And I'm doing these episodes in pairs, and I'm very happy about it. 4 and 5 go together very well. We have, in episode 4, this kind of tragic ending and really depressing. He essentially kills himself. It's a pretty kind of bleak end to the episode, to the skit, where again it seems that for large swaths this one's going in that direction as well, but Ginkgo is able to pull through and get a pretty happy ending, albeit not perfectly happy by the very end. Again, I just found it cathartic. It was good after episode 5, or episode 4, excuse me. The show's just good. It's very good. It understands the concepts and the pacing there within. I wouldn't be surprised if the manga's paced in a similar way, whereby Episode 4's chapter comes before Episode 5's chapter. That would make sense to me. Either way, that'll do it for the YouTube comments. We'll pop over to the Patreon and give them a quick shout out before broadly setting up what we'll do here today. In the description below, you'll see a link. That link will link to my Patreon, which is linked down there in the link in the description. I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, it's there. If you want next week's episode 1 week early, you can click on that and pay me some money. Again, it's your prerogative. Many people have, up to and including Mickey Bambers, AF, AJ, Bananaram Hamadama-sama, BD422, Bisa, Capella, Chuba Ribby, Copley, Dapper Dwarf, Ed, Fancy Question Mark, Flirt Nightingale, Fruit, Gloriana Tenebrae, Glyke, Greybeard, Gus N, Hans Peter, Hibiki Tachibana, Ika, Iwayuru, Yako Yavanen, Jami Boo, Joran, Kasogtha, Clem, Nosta, Kot Begemot, Lick H, Lou, Marco-san, Matthew Bratcher, Miru, Mistake L. Chen, Molly Weinberger, Mr. Maniacs, Panic, Pencil Shop 333, Ron Led B&K, Saint Lily, Sal, Sam1373, Skeleton, Waifu Overdose, Without a Net, Akumancer, Binshi, Kelvin, Voodoo Chili, Aiden O'Brien, Guanal, and Vibrant Weaver. Thank you to everybody for giving me money. I enjoy the money. Mushi-Shi time. Mostly an episodic show. It's really hard to set up broadly. What did we learn last week? Things can go bad sometimes. Up to that point, it was pretty happy endings all around, or at least Ginkgo made things better. You could argue that in episode 4's case, he kind of made things worse, which again isn't entirely fair. It's just kind of a really shitty situation where we didn't have full knowledge and didn't act on full knowledge and stuff, and I don't know, the guy, Jin, made a pretty rash decision there and kind of, bared the consequences for the rest of his life, which ended soon after. So, cheery. Good. Once again, episode 5 seems like it's going down a darker path as well, with the girl being sacrificed and there being kind of element of her giving up on her own life there and not continuing to live. Again, something Ginkgo himself seems to feel very strongly about. In the end, she does pull through. In the end, almost the Mushi is quite magnanimous and benevolent, kind of allowing her to save herself and continue to live on and prosper and everything else. You've helped me do this, now I'm going to let you do that over there. Or at least that was my read. Either way, it's going to be a couple new situations, you would imagine, with a couple of new Mushi guys. We're going to learn some new stuff, and we're going to kind of philosophize for a bit, and probably calm down. I'm coming in a little bit hyper here. Either way, let's jump into episode 6 of Mushi-Shi right now. Rightio, episode 6 up there ready to go. 23 minutes and 38 seconds on this one, so sync up accordingly with your own copy. I'm using the psych versions with the first subtitle track available in that version if you wanted to sync up kind of with your copy. If not, there's a picture-in-picture version in the description below for your viewing pleasure. Let's give this thing a 3, 2, 1. Rightio, 3, 2, 1, go. Indeed. The opening. I'm recording. It's always good. As I said just before in the intro there, I'm full of beans. I just had a big chicken wrap and a Coca-Cola beverage. So I'm full of energy. I'm feeling good. I don't know, you could probably tell sometimes the sessions which I do or do during the week and the ones that I do on the weekend. This is a weekend one. I'm kind of it's Saturday, I'm doing pretty good. Some of the other times not so much. It's a very pretty song. I think I remarked in a previous session that I should try to get into a little bit more of that style of music. I do enjoy it. Okay, I got a flower. Hello, flower. Mm-hmm. Cycles. Seasons. New beginnings. Lots of concepts early. Ginkgo. Feet. Are you gonna row as well? Mushishi. Interesting. The island. Also, the doctor recommended me, so Adashino, you'd imagine. Hmm. 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 Okay. Hmm. Yeah. It's very, very what's the word? Like secure. Okay, there's boats here. Some people have been here. Yeah, he's a very talented boatman. The living god. Hmm. I'm sure I'd feel even better if I had food. Oh, it's your little friend, is it? I thought she was fucking dead. This escalated very quickly. Hello, the living god. She seems pretty chill. Okay. She's eating like me. Reckless abandon. Okay, she's eating a little bit differently to me. What did you put in my rice bowl? Doesn't seem very living to me. Little Mushishi guy. Oh, Mushi, excuse me. This dad's fucked. I don't like the dad. Hmm. Yeah, the dad's bad news. Yeah, there's some Mushi nonsense going on here. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, push the dad off the cliff. Ginkgo, you know what you have to do, buddy. Get to pushing. Power of suggestion. Interesting. So somebody's essentially taking the bullet and taking this thing that happens, whilst it's kind of a placebo. But how how does the placebo continue to work? Well, we're gonna get you in there and have a look at her. How are you gonna get in? How are you gonna infiltrate the sanctum? Ugh. Very easily, apparently. Okay. Nope. Mm-hmm. Oh, little guy. Oh, like a flower. It's all coming together now. I don't like that. In the nose? Interesting. Okay, they've definitely bought into this whole scheme. Okay. Alright, here we go. This is probably a good lead. Just some little bugs. Ugh. Little rat. Fucking fatty over here is just eating all the food, too. Our goat. Yeah, she really is kind of like mute. Ugh! Like a little pig's tail or something. Oh. Okay. Saved. Yeah. Still thought we had most of an episode left. That guy's bad news. That's a good point. We should actually fix everybody. No, you're right. Running away is probably not great. Kill, die. Ooh, the flower. Got your ass. It's all coming together, folks. How the fuck am I supposed to do that? I don't think she can. What do you mean act? How am I supposed to change? I guess it doesn't happen every time. Okay. It would be quite a change. So now I've got to adjust to human time again. The full lifespan. You've lived 100 lives, you know? You're kind of like a newborn each and every day, almost. That's a gorgeous sequence once again. Thank you very much. So what's the idea here? We're gonna go around and kind of get rid of all the flowers. Ah! Time to get you another flower. So we're gonna have a showdown with the flowers or something? He's gonna be there too. Cave full of flowers is always so I really like it as an image. It's striking. They're coming. Whoa. Oh wait, now she's coming to warn us first? At least she's got a little bit of agency here. So we need like a pistol or something. Yeah, you tell him, boss. Oh, he's so good. Make sure the bodies don't surface. Yo. Have a sniff of this. Akoya dono. Kill him, kill him, kill him, kill him. Let's go. Found them. What were they doing? They're just like, oh, guess we're gonna hide out here and drown or die. So, okay, did I say this earlier? I like that she had a little bit of agency here. I thought that that was pretty important for the episode. Ah, don't get all soft on me now. Dad was a scumbo. Get him out of here. Oh, I see. Interesting. Interesting. I'm just happy Dad's dead. Okay. Thanks, Dad. What a weird ending. I'm really unsure how to feel about her going back and purposefully taking the kind of Mushi in again. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. It's worth more examination, in the second part of this video. I'll probably come to terms with things a little bit better there. My kind of 2 cents is... you gotta deal with life, though. And life is long and kind of arduous, and you don't get to reset all the time, and I don't know, you could just kind of got to come to terms with that. I guess from a moral level, the bad part was the dad was using her, so I'm happy that that stopped. The rest of it we'll consider in time, I guess. And yeah, moving swiftly onwards into episode 7. Rightio, episode 7 up there ready to go. 23 minutes and 39 seconds on this one. Same old stuff, sync up accordingly with your own copy, psych version, or there's a picture-in-picture version in the description below. Let's give this thing a 3, 2, 1. Rightio, 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, still really stumped on kind of the ending there. Weird one. That as long as she's happy, I don't know. I feel like as long as she's happy, sure. If you're happy, and I don't know, it almost seemed like in the wake of like the father's death, it's like, okay, shit, well, I don't know. I would rather, instead of being faced with the concept of mortality almost, I'd rather just reset again and again and again and kind of be this mute person that's kind of this host for this parasite Mushi dude. I don't know, the flower's very pretty though, so I don't know. I wonder how Nagi would feel about that. He seemed pretty okay though. It's an odd ending. I thought it would just be, yeah, cure her and then, I don't know. What I thought when she grabbed the flower is that somehow we were going to put Dad into that mode, make him the living god, and then, again, he would be rendered pretty useless, but he would also, would preserve him. That could have been something, I don't know. I'm happy he's dead. I didn't want him to be back, if I'm honest. Anyway, raindrops and rainbows. There's your raindrops. Here's your rainbow? Somewhere. Not ginkgo? Oh, double rainbow. Bro's looking for the pot of gold. Remember Double Rainbow? Showing my age a little bit there, probably. I remember when the video came out. Fucking, I'm Unk. I'm fucking Boomer over here. Look at this. He's aura farming. Not even an umbrella, buddy? This is comfy. I like this quite a bit. Buy some items. He's kind of cool. I'm going to catch a rainbow in my little pot. Go on, then. I like how they're just querying it so much, too. They're like, you sure? What is it? What? What happened? What a freak. How's he doing that with the chopsticks? He probably has some Mushi fucking running rampant or something. We gotta get this motherfucker to, like, the Sahara or something. So it just, like, doesn't rain. He's a thirsty guy. Yeah, there's very clearly something happening here. So why are you chasing the rainbow now, son? I mean, running around in the rain's kind of fun. I'm with you on that. Okay, the kid's kind of into it. It is a good looking rainbow. Oh, you, like, actually just found the end of it. Yeah, that looks like some river of light type shit. Yeah, nah, you got stung or something. Whoa! Jesus. Gay Jesus. He's just chasing that high. Got too old. Drank too much water. Fucking always going on about the rainbow. I guess you would be curious, right? Like, what had Dad that down bad? I like this guy and his addition to the story. Just having a third person there. Just a skeptic to be like, oh, this is bullshit. This is an old wives' tale. The Rainbow Serpent. Okay. Ginkgo's like, bet I'm in. He's like he's like an RPG protagonist. He's just off doing side quests constantly. He's like, that sounds interesting. Make that my active quest. Let's go. Oh, interesting. Great question. I'd like to know too. He helps because he's interested, but why is he traveling is a good question. Okay, not for any special purpose. What seems to... The water's kind of a thing, right? Drinking the water. This guy knows his weather. See, I didn't even know the colors of the rainbow, so I can't tell you if it's like reversed or not. It's a long time. Is Dad still like alive? Yeah. Oh. Huh. He's a... I couldn't hope to match his bridge building ability. Oh. Well, now you definitely can't. I don't think tying your name into rainbows and the floods that happen on the bridges is interesting. Yeah, to like prove that there's a reason behind it all, right? I'm just a rainbow loser. Yes. But no. You know. Great line. Don't psychoanalyze me. Come on, we'll find the rainbow. Let's go. I know what I'm supposed to do, but I can't. Compelling. Love it. Huh. They're a little bit further than that. Oh, love potion. Oi. He always is. Oh! Yo, this is actually sick. What a scene. Colors reversed. I was looking for the blue. We're on, bro. The proverbial white whale. Let's go get it. He's gassed trying to find the rainbow. Did we miss it? No way. I can't believe we didn't find it. He's just dead. No, he's alright. Okay. Interesting. Then let them laugh. Well, you gave me another name. Interesting. Bridge builder. Because the rainbow's kind of like the same shape. Imagine just like roughing it every night. Oh, it's very close by. Quick! Yeah, bro was just like sleeping on the ground. Like, that's insane. I would at least to like lean up against the tree or something. Anyway, I should shut up. The fucking rainbow scene's happening. It's a very big one. Are you game enough to touch it? Hmm. Get out of there. Give me some knowledge then, Ginkgo. What's going on? Huh. Ah, I see. Yeah, okay. Interesting. Interesting. Stop stealing my content. Damn it. That's a remarkable piece of engineering. Oh. She's gorgeous, man. Like, they know how to end an episode. Just, like, in a really, like, kind of thoughtful, beautiful way with the music kind of coming in. It's always, like, one of my favorite parts of the episode is just leading into the ED there. Almost, like, every time. Yeah, I really liked that one. I liked that one quite a bit. Loads of interesting concepts, loads and loads and loads. And I like how it linked into stuff that came before, kind of Koki into Koda, becomes his name Koro. Just good. Really, really good. One man's like mania, obsession. Felt very Moby Dick. Yeah. And just kind of like letting it go at the end. I like that too. Like he's given up everything to get to that point, and when it's right in front of him, he like listens to reason and pulls himself away and doesn't fall into that same mania obsession as the father. Wonderful. Very, very, very good. What we got next? Something about semen or something? Okay, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So what I did there. Anyway, I'll return either later tonight or early tomorrow morning to discuss these episodes once again. But another two like really good ones. I'm pretty positive on them. So good show again. Good show continues to be good. Shocking. But yeah, we'll see you a little bit later. And we're back. It's the next day. 2 more episodes of Mushi-Shi in the books. What did I think? They were pretty good. I enjoyed myself once again. A little bit weirded out by the ending of this one that I have on screen, but I have reflected. I have reread a little bit of a plot summary as well, just to catch myself back up, and yeah, it makes sense. It probably is honestly a purposeful kind of subversion of what you would normally expect out of this story. It's essentially like it's like a horror movie plot almost, right? It's this really isolated community that has this really kind of supernatural weird thing going on. Somebody's almost being possessed and used in the process. You kind of expect freedom from whatever is holding them back to kind of come along with it, right? To kind of be the thing, to be like the resolution. Like, you're better now, you can be like you were before. But here's the thing about Mushi. They're not horror movie villains. The father might be, that's neither here nor there, but the Mushi isn't. The Mushi's just doing its thing. And the Mushi fundamentally changes how she sees time. So, like, it's essentially gaining immortality, right? Like, it's on that kind of grander scale. Like, how many days does a person live? Like, a lot. I'm not going to get Google up and check, but it's a lot. So, what if you went from... It's essentially timesing the length of my life times however many days I live in my life, which is a lot. So, like, that's why she's freaking out, is my point. I don't know if I'm making sense, but hey, time is stretching out so far beyond me that I can't even comprehend it, and it's scaring me. There is a familiarity with death and rebirth that I've come to like. And again, kind of aligning myself with that Mushi, with Mushi in general, with that kind of flow, she feels comfort in that and wants to go back to that. Especially pointed, again, she makes that decision after facing her father, who just died right in front of her. So it's like, hey, but that's death without rebirth as well. Kind of. Death without rebirth in the same way that she's doing it. So it's like a little bit more scary. So it's like, shit, I'm faced with mortality right in front of me, like actual legitimate human death. I'd prefer to go back to my safe space. I don't know if I can live knowing that I could die like that at any moment. I'd rather continue the cycle. I think the proof is in the pudding, where we say in the epilogue there that a few people on the island also chose to take that Mushi again, that they couldn't deal with life as it was right now. And yeah, there must be... But there's a split there as well. Some people obviously go back to normal, some people don't. Yeah, it's like... I don't know, I can't put myself in the kind of headspace of somebody that would make that decision on a personal level, but I understand it for the character, which is more important, I guess. Sucks to be the kid, though, Nagi. He just wanted probably a girlfriend. Anyway, the other episode, I probably preferred it in the end. It was quite a little beautiful tale about almost like obsession, and that obsession passing on to your children in a lot of ways, and tying that into almost like proving yourself and proving that you're not crazy, and all these like kind of really complicated feelings going into why that character, I forget his name, why he chose to, or Koro, of course, why he chose to wander, and kind of asking the question of Ginkgo as well. Why do you choose to wander? You know? Yeah. Some really cool stuff there. Also, again, I'm stupid. It's clearly like the River of Light, Corky type thing. It's the same old. That's why, again, Ginkgo feels so strongly about pulling him back from that as well. So that one was pretty obvious. I don't know why I did that. Why I didn't do that, I guess. Yeah, let's go back through here. They were pretty again. Obviously, this is a pretty looking flower. Music's good. Voice acting's good, direction's good. It's all just good. It's basically just, it feels like I'm just kind of analyzing each individual story when I talk about the show, which is fine, I guess. I thought our opening little narration here was quite pointed and put me in the correct headspace of kind of cycles and, you know, sunsets, sunrises, and whatnot. Again, Mushi are like bugs. Isn't that the thing about like butterflies? They only like live for one day almost or something. They live for a very short amount of time. Yeah, she kind of takes on that almost trait. And again, associating that with the flowers as well, and how they feed off the sun and the sunset, and it's all very deep. Okay, good. In the dialogue, he does say Adashino Sensei, so it was Adashino. That's really fun. I like when we have just a little connection between the episodes. This feels like it could have, or it had to have come after that other episode, right? Where we saw Adashino. It was like, hey, thanks for having me. I'm out of here. Oh, by the way, can you go and have a look at this? That's what it kind of feels like, and we don't need kind of a really rote way of telling it. It's just kind of like, oh yeah, naturally kind of flows on. It's good. I do like what's not told to the audience very early. It creates a sense of intrigue. We know that Ginkgo's been called upon. We know it's something that could be his area of expertise. And from there kind of leaves us to think about what it might be. From there we get to explaining the phenomenon of the island, that you can only get to it at certain times, that it's very isolationist, that it has a really tight-knit community, before of course showing off what's actually happened and the whole living god concept. I just think that the flow and the pace here is really good at that kind of information reveal side. Oh, that's really fun too. I just thought about this. The island itself is almost a metaphor for the living god concept and for Akoya herself. Like, okay, shit, I'm just used to this island. I'm very isolationist. I've been here all my life. I haven't really gone beyond that point, gone out to the mainland and seen the whole world out there. Again, on the kind of behest of my father, I've kind of just been here my entire life. Upon the father's death, I'm also faced with the possibility of leaving the island and the vastness of the world out there, and that in turn is also overwhelming. The same way that an expanded lifespan is overwhelming for her, it's also the breadth of choice. No, I'd rather find comfort in what I'm doing in the here and now. Yeah, it's very pointed now. He's like, yeah, I'll go show you the entire world. That wasn't what she wanted in the end. She kind of got, not changed. She does agree here, I guess, but I don't think she fully understood the concept way back here. Another thing that I wanted to note is that the episode's title is Those That Inhale the Dew. Dew, water, life, Corky, Mushi. It's all coming together. It's all that same kind of concept. Very, very few times in this series thus far have we not involved water in some way. It's pretty much always there. Again, even next episode, rainbows, byproduct of the rain. Yeah, it just feels like it's all connected, you know. We further explain the island here. We can't fish because we can't go out on the water. We don't have much good soil. Crops are bad. We live a pretty poor life. All we have is the living god, of course. And what little food we do have, we give as an offering to this living god as well. I like Ginkgo here. He's just kind of pissed off that he has to hide and play kind of silly buggers and kind of follow the lead of somebody else. I just get the feel that he's just kind of frustrated with the circumstance, that he can't just go in and solve this thing right away. He needs to be kind of sneaky and covert. Doesn't really seem like his style. Okay, here's my question, and I think I know the answer, but I'm just clarifying. We say that her ability as the living god, when she dies, she kind of shoots off these spores that only kind of Ginkgo can see. That doesn't mean anything, right? That isn't healing anybody. It's only a placebo. That's what the father kind of says as such when we overhear him later on. So the question is, how does one whose ability is only placebo get in a position of power in the first place? I guess they fall for the smoke and mirror show of somebody literally dying right in front of them and being fine the next day. Because if they look at that, they must be like, okay, well, if that person has that power, and, if we have illness or that kind of thing and we, are going to die, if we go close to somebody who is revived from death, then maybe that'll work, and we don't really have the evidence there within. And of course, it's classic like religion stuff, right? If it kind of happens, if a miracle happens and you do survive, it's an act of God and it's a demonstration of their brilliance. And if you die, it's, you weren't devoted enough. You didn't pray hard enough for it to happen. It's for some other reason that God has forsaken you. I guess that's a read. It's weird though. How does one get in a position of power with no proof? Actually, now that I've said that, it's very possible for that to happen. Anyway. Also, what's the dad's deal? Is he just a fatty? Does he just want all the food? That's what I would do, I guess. I don't know. It comes along with all of it. He's probably in the nicest house and has the nicest robes and whatever else because of his status. There she goes. Oh my god. Ginkgo immediately sees the little fart out of her nose and knows that there must be some Mushi business going on. It's like a little bit of pollen or something. Again, much like a flower. Flowers don't grow day by day though, but you know what I mean. Like their reproductive cycle is kind of, pollen and, seeds and whatnot. They're kind of spread out after a certain time. Oh yeah, I missed this line. Yeah, so Nagi's mother died without being healed. And then I overheard the guy saying it was a sham. So the healing abilities must not be absolute. Yeah, it must be just placebo, obviously. Okay, good. We're on the same page. We do a bit of backstory stuff there as well. That kind of family, the head family there, were the first people on the island, probably the first one to find the flowers, the first one to have a sniff, the first one to gain this ability, first ones to get the idea to then use that ability and show it off and, pose like we're the rulers and have this special ability and whatnot. And then also to spread that out to other places to get more people to come along. Hey, if you have some kind of illness and you're all out of cures and that kind of thing, maybe come here, maybe we can sort something out for you. Yeah, that's the entire premise behind why Nagi is even here. His mother brought the family along and, hey, I'm going to see if I can be cured by this cure-all living god person. So again, it's... I don't know. That's... The ending kind of really sucks for Nagi. It's like, really? I saved you from this thing? The thing that almost doomed my mother back in the day as well. This false hope. You're going to continue to embody that and not come with me away from this place? That's insane. Sucks to be that guy, man. I will say this episode switches up its genre just a little bit. It feels like kind of horror. It feels kind of like a mystery in a way that other episodes haven't up to this point, I would say. It's just kind of... The information reveal is really good, and it's kind of like, oh, what's going on? The smoke and mirrors, and again, once we figure out what's going on, it makes perfect sense. I don't know, something about somebody that dies and kind of comes back from the dead, so to say, and this village of people that do the same, kind of, quarantined over this other part of the island. It just screams like horror premise. I don't know, it was a little bit spooky. I liked it. One part pacing-wise in the episode that I think is kind of weird. It's the kind of us needing to hide early on, us needing to like sneak in and don't be seen and all that kind of stuff, to us just being able to walk up and see the living god immediately. Like, okay, I guess security's not that tight. I don't know. Again, the most jarring one is in this previous scene where we might actually be in danger here, and then we walk directly up to her and it's fine. So... bit of a disconnect, I don't know. Oh yeah, some of the stuff about pulses as well. Her pulse is really fast here, and creatures only have so many heartbeats in a lifetime. That's essentially like a myth, by the way. I don't know. Because then if I have an elevated heart rate at all during the day, I'm slowing down my life? That doesn't make any sense. Running and cardio is good for you. Your heart rate should go up every now and again. Anyway, it's more to say that, Yeah, like insects and smaller creatures that have those elevated heart rates do have lesser lifespans than humans. Like a rat whose heart's probably going a mile a minute doesn't live as long as a human. And there we have it, little Mushi in the nose. We could see that this one has kind of died and is kind of, fading away whilst the new one grows in its place. So Ginkgo sees that, he has a few ideas, but he wants to test on a few other people and get a few more examples. So then we go to the fucking village of the lepers and we try to figure out what's going on from there. Yeah, so my mind was these were like the previous living god people, but they're not. They're just like devout followers that also got infected, I guess. Weird. Anyway, the family's ticked off on it because these people were now free from suffering and, you know, because if you die every day, you get that reset every day as well. You're not feeling, long running disease effects of things. So it kind of is kind of humane to put them out here and put them all together and be like, hey, you guys could live almost like a different life over here. Akin to the life of a Mushu or something else. Just like, do it over there, and at least the family members could be happy that they're not kind of suffering over there. It's small here, but again, the information reveal and mystery side of it is quite good. We think about, hey, spring tide seems to be a really common factor between all these things. Is there like one location that we can only get to at that time? Remember, that was the time that Akiya got infected as well. And that's when Nagi suggests a cave. Yeah. Let's have a little bit of a look there. It seems like it's all kind of connected. Ginkgo's suspicions are confirmed. He finds a rat, and there's some more around as well. Other creatures around here have been infected by the same thing. This allows him basically a subject to test on and have a little bit more of a concrete look at. Small touch here, but Ginkgo kind of prays for a second before kind of doing that to the rat. So, like, I don't know, I liked that. He doesn't seem like much of a religious guy per se, but his whole vibe is kind of spiritual. I don't know, it just kind of fit. I liked it. As time passes, Ginkgo finds a cure, and once again, we're immediately able to find Akiya immediately. Now, against her struggling, which is now very interesting, because she does choose to go back to this state, we implement this cure. Once again, it's the Mushi needle, and it's just kind of almost on the very kind of top of the nose there. And yeah, it's a small enough hole for that kind of Mushi to swirl out of. It's a pretty cool effect. And again, like, even kind of anatomically, is that even a word? Biologically, I don't know, health-wise, if you go up through your nose, you can kind of get to your brain in a way. It's like a pretty good way to go up there. So it kind of makes sense that if something's kind of hiding in there, it is going to have a, effect on speech patterns and that kind of side of it. It just, yeah, I don't know. It obviously is mystical. It isn't based in any science, but it kind of is. I don't know. There is an attempt. It's better than it being in her like toe or something. Once again, here in the narrative, I was sure that we were going to go in the direction of, lie revealed with the father. I'm sure father will admit he was wrong. You see that father hasn't. You see that father was using me the entire time, and then you're completely happy with his death. I think this is the Mushi-Shi kind of difference as a show. We don't always go like the rote kind of path with the storytelling. We kind of swerve and pivot in spots. Because yeah, as it turns out, no, she's actually right. She actually does love this island, and she does love the thing that she was doing there before, and the living god whole deal. Once again, dad is still like a scumbag, like tricking the daughter, like non-consensually, like volunteering her for this thing. Like, I think he calls her not very bright at some point in the episode too. He's just like not a good guy. I'm kind of happy he's dead in a ditch now. Akiya here also brings up a good point of kind of stopping the cycle of abuse on the island as well. If I leave, it's only going to be somebody else. So we've got to nip this whole thing in the bud now. So, chat room, question mark here. How does one act like the living god? I thought that it was every single night she would die and then be reborn the next day. Obviously, we have people praying to her in the here and now. Aren't people going to be immediately suspicious that she isn't dying and being reborn because she isn't infected at the moment? Like, what happens there? That's a little bit odd. In retrospect, this here is pretty crucial dialogue between Ginkgo and Akiya about her feeling uneasy now being back to normal. I could always close my eyes with such a feeling of satisfaction when I began to grow older at sunset and began to fall asleep. But now I'm afraid. When I awake, the reality that I left behind yesterday is waiting for me. I cringe at the immense amount of time that spreads out endlessly before me. Yeah, I'm a fucking dumbass. That's very obviously a metaphor with the island and the horizon and stuff. Like, duh. It's obvious. Okay. I kind of get it. I don't know. Life is overwhelming, and there is such a satisfaction to kind of ending something. To, again, just like it's kind of human nature to get a list and kind of tick things off of it, right? Like, she had grown accustomed to getting that sense of satisfaction of a life's work almost every day. And again, what is life's work if not helping others? So, sure, I can kind of see it, I guess. Like, hey, I had something good going on, just kind of a routine. I've always been broken out of that routine and never be almost like normal again. I don't know, it's giving me like almost kind of PTSD vibes, kind of. Just like, I've been doing this thing so long, it's almost like I can't do anything else, you know? Like my body longs for war. Or my mind, I guess. Yeah. Ginkgo here, correctly, assumes that this is Mushi work as well. Your body clock is harmonized with that of a Mushi's, so you're all freaked out and frazzled. As I explained before, it's essentially immortality. Akia here remarking that, yeah, that must explain it. That's kind of the connective thing here. Every hour, every day felt breathtakingly fresh and new. And it just doesn't feel like that anymore. I don't know, something's missing, I guess. Once again, weird direction for the story. The imagery here is amazing, though. Just kind of like the flower there, kind of wilting into the ocean water there, kind of expanding out and kind of having that same kind of deep purple color. Always kind of the rain, always that moisture, always the giver of life, reviving that flower once again. Yeah, something of, you know, a human life cycle to a plant life cycle to a Mushi life cycle, and that all kind of being interlinked and interconnected is worth note. Maybe it's only Springtide Day that she dies. No, but she does. It says every day, I thought. I said in the reaction, I'm always fond of the concept of flowers growing in a cave. It's just kind of like, I don't know, this piece of beauty that shouldn't almost be there. It almost defies logic that it is there. I feel like that's a really cool concept. I don't know, just another trope I like. I don't know, the tension's kind of ratcheted up here. Fucking Dad's on the hunt for Ginkgo and Nagi, and Akiya's here trying to warn the others, and I don't know, it gets a nice bit of tension here. It's action movie-esque. The dad kind of finds Nagi and Ginkgo here, and Ginkgo gives him a thorough lecture on how you should handle Mushi, and that you're being kind of presumptuous in your use of them right now, and eventually you'll go kind of insane. Potentially you already have. Yeah, interesting. That kind of links into the next episode in a weird way. Improper handling of Mushi leads to Mania. Yeah, okay, that's cool. I like that. So Ginkgo, again, he puts up a good fight here, right? Where he's like, I'm gonna get ya. And then he just turns tails and runs. Again, he's very likable protagonist. So here's the other thing that's weird. So Akiya tells the rest of the villagers what Dad's doing and where the cave is and the deal about the flowers and stuff. And then they just go off and kill him. They're like, fuck that guy. I don't know. Maybe these are the kind of people that read what they have is as a curse, right? Is that this constant kind of regeneration day by day. It's almost like the shackle that I have that has been put on by this guy, that he is the oppressor of kind of the freedom that kind of lays out before me in kind of a normal life. So again, are those literally the guys that are also infected? Or is that the family members of the guys that are also infected? That's a little bit hazy. Anyway, some people turn on him and they die. So, I don't know. It's a bit hazy. I just think that a lot of the things in this episode could have been explained a little bit better. Up to and including Akiya's choice, which, again, I've gone into. Even if it comes around to being something believable in the end for her, it was kind of jarring in the reaction in kind of real time. I don't know. Either way, here's the choice in question. Akiya here almost blames herself for the death too. I killed him. I told those people where he was. If I just, behaved, if I just hadn't been cured, then he'd still be here too. Here's the part that's not connected with me. He's an oppressor. He manipulated you. Do you not? Anyway, he's just been shown to be such a bad guy with no redeeming quality at all that I can't feel this moment at all. And then, yeah, firmly embedded in her head, we can't just do the Mushi needle trick anymore. It's gonna be there forever, but I guess that she made her choice and that's okay too. I don't know. It is overwhelming. Life is overwhelming. Especially the moment of the death of your father is overwhelming. But I don't like the moral of just kind of limiting yourself to what you know in the here and now. I don't. I agree with it for her. I don't agree with it. I think that you should broaden your horizons and see the rest of the world and stuff and live a different life than the life you've lived for the past little bit. Yeah, I don't know. That's my 2 cents. I don't know. They end up happy enough. Nagi seems to be happy, being her new guardian. I don't know. She can fend for herself, obviously, but he's associated now. That's good. He seems to not just be using her to fucking get food or whatever the dad was doing. She seems to be able to live a little bit freer and help people and be truly happy as this living god type persona. Today's flowers are not the same as yesterday's flowers, but today's flowers are just as beautiful as yesterday's as well. That's pretty poetic. I like that kind of in the narration here. Brings full circle to the episode, which I do like too. That day, kind of, it was the spring tide. Like, he kind of missed it because he was in a ditch. So he couldn't really leave. So he stayed for an additional month. During that time, he was able to treat everyone living on the promontory. But as I said before, people still chose to become living gods once again. So, I don't know, it must have been appealing to them, having a taste of that and thinking that that's a better way to live than the way we live now. I don't know, let's expand that kind of sea island isolation metaphor out even further, right? Think about real life. Some people, after being kind of, I don't know, liberated per se, still long for the society and the kind of life they had before that point. Like, that's been a pretty common thing historically, that I just want things to go back to the way they were. Like, I don't know, the example that I go to is like, you hear about those families that never let their kids like leave the house, and then like at a certain point they get uncovered and the kids finally leave and that kind of thing. And I don't know, it must be overwhelming. That's the only point I'm giving them, I guess. It must just be like, oh, there is all this shit out here and I'd just been in my little house, and yeah, the world's way bigger than that. Nagi at the end of the episode here is kind of dumbfounded as to what to do now, and then Ginkgo makes the suggestion of making life on the island as normal as possible. Clear yourself a route for boats to get out. Kind of stop that isolation. Give people the choice to stay isolated or to go out and experience the rest of the world, right? You, my friend, have an infinite amount of time. Infinitely large, where she doesn't. So choose to do what you can do with that stuff in the time that you have, I guess. I don't know, so you seen 50 First Dates? It's kind of giving me that weirdly as well. I don't know, kind of the resolution there of that film being that we're going to learn to live with the thing that she has going on. Yeah, weird. I don't feel like I talk about the soundtrack enough. It's, again, that moment just leading into the ED is so good every time, where the soundtrack just gets that little kind of time to shine. It's very, very well done. Anyway, that episode was confusing. How about some rainbows? Let's do rainbows. Introductory scene here, we see old mate chasing the rainbow, which is just a little taste of what we have going on before meeting up with Ginkgo and getting the other side of the story. Now, framing-wise, this is awesome. I love that Ginkgo just happens upon this. That's cool. He was just wandering and found a tree to hide from the rain under, right? Again, immediately attaching it into the rainbow metaphor of it kind of appearing after the rain. Like, hey, rain's falling, we tell the story, we have that little bit of time. Rain stops, rainbows appear. I've also made my choice there. I've also made my choice there. Let's go and look at them. Let's go see if we can find some rainbows, And just the dynamic of having Ginkgo, who we know is in on this shit, along with a skeptical guy, and then the guy that's in on it. Like, that dynamic is so good to be telling the story. I kind of wish we'd got more kind of interjections from this guy that is the cynic. I feel like that would have been really nice. Just some really natural progression too. Obviously, what do you do when you're standing around with people you don't know very well? You talk about the weather. Oh, this rain's crazy. When do you think it'll let up? This guy immediately seems really clocked in on when that rain is going to let up, almost like he's a weather expert or something, right? And then, oh, okay, now let's look over to him. He's got this giant pot. He might be a merchant. Then we talk about the pot. Then we get interested in the rainbow thing. It just fucking works. It's, writing like that makes me so envious because of, I can't write something that natural, I'm just not that good. Yeah, he says, I'm going to put some fucking rainbows in it, and we're immediately like, huh, okay, you're crazy. And it's like, okay, well, we're bored. Tell us the story of why you're chasing rainbows, and that frames the next 5 minutes of kind of flashbacky stuff. In a way, feeling a lot like episode 4 there, which kind of, again, just kind of introduced a few characters, and then Ginkgo asked a person to explain what happened. Why are you the way you are now? And yeah, I mean, you guys saw the episode. I'm not going to go into huge detail here, but Dad had a sense of mania around the rain. Whenever the rain was coming, he would always run out and kind of follow the rain and that kind of thing and not be back for days. It was crazy, right? He would always return, not having found what he was looking for, but having been satisfied in the hunt regardless, which is another sub-theme in the episode, right? Of obsession, mania, that kind of thing turning into kind of like satisfaction in the hunt almost. Like that's like Koro here doesn't seem particularly overwhelmed by it either. It's just kind of his lot in life that he has to do. Again, he isn't infected the same way, but he is. It's a kind of thing that he has mentally as opposed to a condition that the father has. Again, in the reaction I referenced Moby Dick, which I feel like is just kind of shorthand for obsession here at this point. The rainbows are their kind of respective white whales. Not that they end up dying in the end or anything, or I don't know, capturing. They kind of capture the rainbow, but in capturing the rainbow, they kind of would have died in the process if they continued to try to capture it. I don't know, there is some parallel there between the two IMO. Now, the water drinking thing, did we ever get to the bottom of that? I guess it's just further connecting to the whole Corky River of Light rainbow type deal we have going on with this particular Mushi, that he's been infected by it, that he, likes to drink as much water as he does. I don't know, again, Mushi being almost like parasites and infecting people and changing them has been a thing in 3 or 4 episodes now. And yeah, we paint a pretty distressing family situation here. There's another sibling here that we don't really see as well. He's just kind of locked in on the whole bridge thing. I'd like to imagine he's like practicing his bridge building even now. And the mother's obviously fed up with him because he keeps fucking running away for days on end after the rainbow. But Koro here, almost his namesake, right, is kind of equally interested in the rainbows and kind of wants to hear what Dad has going on. Hasn't entirely lost faith in him and called him crazy. From here we do a flashback inside a flashback, whereby we go back to the day where Koro was born, and lo and behold, the bridge gets knocked down by the rain, by the floodwater, and we see that rainbow. I don't know, again, bridges having a bridge shape, a rainbow having that arc, the kind of connection there, that bridge almost between the real world and kind of the Mushi side, being this kind of river as well. It's all just connected, right? It's all just, even if I can't put it into perfect straight English, it's evocative. It's making me feel things. It's good. So yeah, he finds the rainbow, touches the rainbow, and almost like infects him. He's got this big ring around him now. Now, okay, here's my 2 cents. He touched that rainbow, and it almost, again, kind of like this thing, if you like get involved with Mushi and have an interaction with Mushi, you're more likely to see them again. I feel like that's what's going on here. So after he does it, he starts to see this similar concept everywhere, right? It's pattern recognition. Why does it go away at a certain point? Why can't he see it after a while? Yeah, one day it seemed so far away and then it never appeared again. I don't know, I guess it just kind of fucked off. The interesting part as well is that Koro here as a child can also kind of see it, which is, I don't know, there's some naming transitive property thing going on there, maybe, I guess. Once again, this is a link between the 2 episodes. I spent a long time just there before talking about Akoya, right? Who chose once again to almost embrace the mania, to embrace the Mushi, to, that life, normal life away from what I had come to know is almost like boring and not worth it. And I long to almost be insane again and chase the rainbow and do all these other kind of things, right? I long for the Mushi. That's an interesting theme because again, we look at these things like they need a cure all the time, right? Like these people are sick and they must return to normal, but that isn't always the best case. For that individual person, it may make them ultimately more sad, and What's important there? I don't know, it's weird. It's a weird one. It's not normal, it's unconventional. Anyway, Dad then got sick, he couldn't see the rainbow anymore, and we continued to try to give him water, but his body wouldn't allow him to see that most beautiful thing once again. That's when I almost vow to find it for him, even if again he's lying here in this moment. Love this line here from the skeptic guy once again, just kind of, yeah, your story had a weak ending. It's like, yeah, because it hasn't ended yet. Yeah. Really small minor character. Really like him as an addition. I think it's just, it sells the scene. Anyway, I've continued to say Rainbow. It does have a name. Korda is the name of the Mushi here. Ginkgo here seems to be the one that, is a little bit more switched on about it and has a few more thoughts, and they kind of choose to travel together for a time here. Once again, very interesting. I've only seen this Mushi one time before. You see that kind of river of light pretty often, right? And again, when we kind of see it, it's like, oh yeah, I had my suspicions it was all related. Yeah, you got an interesting past, buddy. Now, what's the poetry of the colors being reversed on this one? I'm just getting some kind of mirror idea. So again, the Mushi side and our reality, it's kind of, split either side, down the middle. There's a mirror in the middle. Water's also reflective in that way too, so that's kind of fun. Water and light. It's only natural that we'll eventually talk about rainbows, now that I think about it. Yeah, that's really interesting. I really like it. And again, that's something that we can tangibly tell Koro here and have him, switch on a little bit more and, not just chase any old rainbow. Very quickly there as well, Koro shows off his ability to tell where the rain is and that he's picked up a few things in his travels. We also start the questioning here of why Ginkgo wants to help me, why he's following me, that kind of thing. What is he even doing out here? Why was he traveling? Which come around in the episode too a little bit more. There's a little bit of a montage there where we show time passing, a few close calls with other rainbows that weren't quite what we were looking for, before we sit down again and do a little bit more exposition, where we learn that Koro's been on the trail here for 5 years straight, where Ginkgo immediately sees the hole in his story, right? Hey, if you're going to show this to your bedridden father, who seemed to be pretty close on his last legs the last time we saw him in that flashback anyway, 5 years is a long time. Are you sure he's still going to be there? Like, you haven't seen your family in that long? And then, yeah, it's revealed that he kind of left home. Yeah, that there's more to the story than what was originally told, I guess. So what's in a name? His name has been associated with this rainbow stuff. He's the son of his father, who's known as the crazy rainbow guy. That's gotta suck. It's sticking to ya. It's almost my destiny and my legacy from the moment I was born. Again, that incident happening the day of my birth, like it's all coming together, We then do the other side of the equation here, which is the whole bridge builder thing. Like, hey, we come from a long line of bridge builders. There's this river. It always breaks our bridges, even though we try to build better and better bridges each time. Always the water, always that river, always the flood water. It's all connected, of course. Hey, that is my other side of my destiny. It's my family's destiny. It's the thing that's kind of pushing me along from that direction. Shit, I'm not very good at it. Shit, I've also broken my fucking hand. I can't use it anymore. Now I only have the one thing, which is the rainbow thing, which comes from the Pa side. So then, what becomes the reason for searching for the rainbow if you don't want to do it for your own father? Well, now it's a little bit more for me. It's tied into my personal circumstances and my destiny and just kind of understanding obsession, understanding why my father was the way he was and why my life's ended up the way it is. I just gotta know. I wanted to know what the go was with Dad. I also wanted to say, hey, all those people that made fun of me for my name and for my lineage and for my father and whatnot, this is what caused it. I actually finally have something tangible here to prove what happened. And even more than that, I just kind of needed a goal after leaving the village. I couldn't just be an aimless wanderer, right? You said, Ginkgo, that you were traveling without a purpose. I personally couldn't do that. Even if it's almost impossible and unattainable, I need something out there in the future for me to go and get, right? This rainbow thing just suited. Now, Ginkgo's fascinating. I've theorized in the past that there must be a reason for him traveling and whatnot, but now that we've kind of said it in the narrative, maybe there isn't. Maybe he is just walking around for the fuck of it. I don't know. Are we ever going to learn more? I guess strap in, there's a lot of episodes. And once again, Ginkgo is a mirror to Koro here, right? Because, okay, I do wander aimlessly, that's kind of my thing. But when I do want to relax, when I do want to feel that kind of way, when I do want to transition back to the other side almost, I do set a goal. So, in my relaxing is your work, you know? And my work would be akin to your relaxing. I'm different. I'm like the opposite to you, you know? It's a really interesting philosophy. If I live for living's sake, I have no leisure time. So once I live for a certain goal of finding this rainbow, even just for a little bit, it is my break. You know, that's really cool. I like that. These two are fun too because they're kind of at each other's throats. They're like, you know, he's just clearly over it. Genko's obviously got a sharp tongue too. But it's never like, I don't know, it doesn't feel like they're fighting. They're just kind of two kind of bitter guys that are really sarcastic and stuff. I don't know, I like when the other characters can throw punches back at Ginkgo, I guess. And I mean, it's easy for you to say things like this, that, hey, you're gripped by this obsession and this guilt and, you know, it's almost a crutch, this kind of journey that you're on, that you don't want to face the people around you and you don't want to face your past. And it's like, well, if you don't want to face your past, you could have just went anywhere and ran away and started anew. You still feel tethered even though you're essentially free and you haven't seen those people in years. And of course, as I say all the time on the channel, what's interesting here is that he knows that and does it anyway. Again, character doing... Let's do some tiers. Character doing thing. Okay, there's nothing there, right? Character doing kind of evil thing. That's a little bit more there. That's kind of interesting. Character doing evil thing even though he knows it's bad and knows that it's the wrong thing to do. Super interesting, right? Characters are built on contradictions. Which again, you could probably take that that line there to the previous episode too. That kind of whole plot is a contradiction. Kind of after that scene in the cave there in the rain where they kind of, you know, go back and forth. We kind of skip ahead a little bit and we're in the dry season. There hasn't been rain in quite a while. Very notably, your throat feels parched as well, linking again back to your legacy, back to the father, back to the person that raised you. Even now, I'm still on the same journey. And yeah, just a lovely little moment here. Just kind of turns and kind of looks at his palm and it's like, what am I doing? I can't even like sweat anymore. I'm so out of moisture, I can't... It's that point in the journey where you feel like you can't go in anymore. But then his heart beats, and he hears his father's voice, right? Saying that the rain is coming. He turns his head and he sees the clouds appear from behind the mountain. And yeah, he knows that the time is here once again. Almost his blood and that kind of like, again, legacy angle telling him that this is the case. Another really cool kind of mystical moment here. And that rainbow there, that's a reversed rainbow. That's what we're looking for. That's the Korka? Korda? I think it's Korda. That's the Korda. I don't think this last little tease moment here is a little bit weird. Like, we had such a great build-up to, you know, seeing it kind of appear from behind the mountains and that one thing that we're looking for finally appear and, you know, that we've been longing for all this time, and then we run over to it and then it's gone and then we go to sleep and then it's there. It's like, does that need to be there? I don't know. What it works to do is somehow put in another little flashback. What we do it is through a dream sequence. And what I would do is just move the episode around a little bit and have somehow, maybe have him daydream in the sun about this instead. Like, this just feels ancillary. Why make us chase, then camp, then it's there? Doesn't make any sense. I guess it lets him reflect on his power, because he looks down at his hand again and he's like, I kind of predicted the rain the same way my father did. How does that happen? Why was I allowed to do that? And associated in with the name that he didn't cast away, the name that he's kept even after all this time, as again, he wants a new slate from this family. He wanted to run away. He is still shackled by that name, but he still wants to be shackled too, by that mania, by that name, by that connection to the rainbow. That's really cool. Really like this from the dad too, because, okay, shit, I've been kind of a shitty parent because of the thing that I kept on chasing, and, you know, I've named you its namesake. I kind of feel really bad for that too. Hey, what if I gave you a new name? What if, again, this is the new slate that you need? No. I want to stay shackled. That's kind of, again, this whole kind of 2-episode chunk, you know? Because again, Dad's heart was in the right place. He just wanted to name you after the most beautiful thing that he's ever seen. Fuck my wife, apparently. Holy shit. But yeah, I saw that rainbow the day before you were born. I couldn't get it out of my mind. I wanted to name you something similar. Like, it's kind of this really touching, beautiful moment where he just kind of embraces his family and embraces Dad despite his weird quirks and stuff, right? That's, hey, here's an out. I don't want the out. I want to keep being a part of this. Same way, running away from home. Here's an out. No, I still want to stay attached to you through this rainbow process. Yeah, the bridge building stuff kind of comes out of left of center here as well. Once again, I do like the metaphor of it, but kind of saying, hey, I'm going to become an even better bridge builder than you, and then running away, finding the rainbow, and then heavily implied to be making some crazy engineering bridge by the very end. I don't see how that connects, I guess. I don't know, I guess once he kind of got satisfied with the whole rainbow journey, he turned his obsession and mania towards engineering and bridging. I guess that's what happened. Sure. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, he ran away from home, and now we're here with the rainbow. And yeah, once we make our way over, it's a big one. Seems like it's far bigger than the one that Dad even saw. At this point here, Koro becomes overwhelmed. He finally sees the thing that his father was searching for all this time as well, right in front of him. I have to embrace my family legacy. I have to go back home and show it to him. It's almost this moment of like insanity and mania that's like driving him to touch it, right? We get that similar kind of spark when the dad touched it as well. And I end up surrounded by the whole thing, seeing this beautiful display of colors all around me. It's like I'm in the middle of kind of this rainbow vortex, you know? And we yank him back out again. Don't do that. Don't get that close to a river or a bridge of this kind. And yeah, Ginkgo explains this as a nagaremono, of course. A flow thing. I don't know. It's kind of like the River of Light. It's pure Koki kind of energy stuff. It's essentially like a mimic rainbow. They mimic, you know, they're Mushi. They're like that kind of flow of energy, but they mimic something from kind of everyday life. So yeah, Korka are the result of kind of, you know, light and Koki-laden rain, which makes the River of Light kind of interesting too. And I don't know, it's just all fucking connected. It's that same old shit. I don't know, I'm connecting it into the, you know, episode 2 stuff about not touching the river. I don't know. I feel like it's very similar. And these kind of nagaremono don't really have a purpose. They only kind of drift. They're not affected by anything. They only affect others and then disappear. Is there a character in the narrative we could see that as a metaphor for? I think so. Somebody that wanders around, doesn't really get affected by anything, but can affect others. Ginkgo's a big old rainbow boy. If you touch such a thing, you could be possessed. That's what happened to the father. And yeah, for a moment I was going down that similar path before I was pulled away. But either way, hey, guess I couldn't grab it, but I saw it, and I touched it, and now I know it's dangerous. If I go any further, it will turn into full-on mania, and I'll turn out just like my father did, potentially even worse. Okay, I can tick that off the list now. Feels like part of me is gone, part of this obsession and everything that went along with it, but now I'm free to do whatever I want, you know? Don't have a goal. And yeah, I guess he turns that attention and that goal towards building bridges now. Very, very interesting. Yeah, look at this bridge. It's kind of crazy. And yeah, we do the line about Ginkgo being like that phenomenon, and he's just going to go around drifting again. The bridge here is called the Nagarebashi, which of course is linked in with the Nagaremono. I don't know how we're getting... I don't know, I kind of wish it was more connected. Kind of the bridge design isn't really connected to anything we did in the episode, and I feel like that would be a nice little bow and everything and make everything fit all nice-like. Really evocative ending here with the rainbow just drifting once again, obviously reflecting Ginkgo, who was off to his next tale in the following episode. And once again, those closeouts of the ED are gorgeous. Soundtrack doing the heavy lifting there, of course. Bit of a weird episode. Or a bit of a weird set of 2 episodes. I liked them, though. They're evocative, even if I don't really understand them all the time. I don't know, I feel like I fall into the trapping a lot of just trying to logically follow, which isn't really the show's vibe at all. I don't know, 2 thumbs up. Enjoyable. Next week there will be 2 more. Please look forward to it. Patreon, like the video, subscribe, all those things. And yeah, I'll catch you later. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.